Good morning, my favorite people in the world. It is Ferdy, the creator of Event Photography 101, and I'm really excited to talk to you today. Today, we're answering a very cool, fun question, and that is, should event photographers learn scripts before buying new lenses? Should they learn scripts before buying new lenses? Well, I love that question. It's a really good question, so thank you. So buying new lenses, what does that mean? It means that you are able to capture generally prettier photos, generally, stereotypically, if you're buying a new lens with a new focal length, a new shallow depth of field, etc., etc. A lot of the craze and a lot of that seductiveness comes with like, ooh, a bigger hole, a bigger aperture, which means I can get a blurrier background. Surely I should buy a new lens and get a blurrier background before learning any scripts or even caring about how I interact with the people that I'm capturing. Surely that's the case, right? Well, not really. I've been sucked into that trap many times, really, especially at the start and middle of my event photography career, buying that new lens and seeking more and more bokeh, the shallow depth of field, the bokeh backgrounds. And there is lots of truth behind that and credit behind the idea of getting a blurrier background. However, how you interact with the people that you're capturing at the event, whether it's at a baptism, a bridal shower, or wherever, really, it's really going to tilt in your direction. Those skills, those hospitality skills that we teach in the book, those people skills, it's people first, then camera second. So in that case, hold off from buying a new lens and go for interacting and learning how to better interact with your guests, your customers, your clients, whoever you're interacting with and capturing. I want you to be an absolute boss at interacting with your guests, everyone, right? I don't want you stuttering. I don't want you coming across awkward. I don't want you to make them feel uncomfortable, because it doesn't really matter at the end of the day if you have a shallow depth of field bokeh lens or not. You might have the best gear in the world. You might be the technical best photographer in the world. You might be, again, technically the best photographer in the world from a technical point of view. But if you just don't have those hospitality skills, you're going to be remembered as awkward, uncomfortable, and you're not going to be referred to their friends and family. It just doesn't work like that. So continuing on. Now, choosing to learn scripts over lenses is still not the best idea, because if you're learning the scripts, you're not really understanding the why behind it and how it all works and the principles and the whole nature behind how and why you're making them feel more comfortable and more flowy and looking more natural in the poses. It's a band-aid solution to posing, just learning scripts. Sure, they can spark a few good poses here and there when it's matched with your tonality, right? If you've got the tonality and you're delivering these scripts and the tonality and the request, the prompt, whatever it is, and they somewhat match, yeah, you're going to have a bit of a win there. However, you need to know the fundamentals, the basics, the principles behind how and why what you say and what you do with your hands and your body make them feel, and how they respond. Because you could smell like poo, you could look like a hobo, you could be many things to make them feel uncomfortable. It could be the microfacial expressions that you are reacting to if they say something, because you're not controlling what you're doing. You need to be super diligent and aware about how you are coming across to them and how your presence is affecting them and their ability to come out of their shells and say, hey, I'm having a good time here with my partner or whoever. let's have fun. I want to smile because I feel a little bit free here, and I feel good. I feel happy. I feel content. And that's what you want to inspire and spark. You want to use these prompts and your understanding of the body language and all the principles and the nature of posing, etc., to help create and inspire them to come out of their shell and to bring out the best in their energies, whether they have a feminine and a masculine pole, or it's vice versa, right? The female has the masculine energy, and the male has the feminine energy, right? Whatever. Doesn't really matter as long as you understand their core energies and capturing that polarization between them two in a nice, fun, dynamic, natural way. We don't want to capture their energies and force them to be stiff because we're being awkward ourselves, right? Let's come back to the question, okay? New lens versus these scripts. Don't buy a new lens. And don't learn a new script. Learn how and why poses work. Just the principles. Read the book. Read EP 101. And then you can jump into learning these prompts, okay? I don't like to say scripts because it doesn't really do it justice. And that's leading down the wrong path, okay? We don't want to learn scripts. We want to learn prompting. Okay, we're going to prompt like how we prompt an AI agent to answer a question or something like that, or do a task for us. Similar here, we're prompting our couple and our subjects that we're posing to bring out the best, to bring out their energies, to bring out how they want to be looked upon from their friends and family. And that does come to the status versus purpose-driven clientele. You need to know what they want, who they are, where they are in their lives, whether they're on a peak or a trough in their journey of life, the circle of life. Okay, have they just got married? Are they about to get married? Are they having a kid? Whatever it is, you need to be asking them the critical questions of, how do they define a successful photography service, and how do they define a successful photography album? Okay. Those two answers will help guide you and like guardrails and direct you in the right direction, okay? And then you need to get a bit more, that will help answer the question of whether they are more in it for the status or for their purpose. Purpose being more internal feedback. These photos and the album that we create for them is really feeding it's feedback for their internal self. They're growing, they're achieving their personal goals and their life mission, their core purpose driven. Or are they a client that's more so wanting the external feedback from their friends and family on Facebook and social media and Instagram, TikTok, blah, 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 blah. It's all natural. It's all normal, right? And all of our clients and guests, they all are part of this whole world, right? It's not going to be black and white, like status versus purpose driven, but sometimes there's a mixture, and it's critical that you understand where they are in that whole journey of their lives so that you can match the prompting well, okay? Knowing where they are will allow you to get down to their level, and prompt them and guide them and direct them and talk to them in a manner that's going to best fit well and jive with them wherever they are in the circle of life. Stereotypically, status-driven are pretty much early in life, maybe like 20s to early 30s, right? And then after that, we start to grow into the purpose-driven internal feedback, kind of like, hey, mission, purpose, and goal-orientated self-growth. A lot of words there. So at the end of the day, you need to, you already know now, learn the fundamentals, learn the philosophy, learn the nature of posing, okay? Because buying a new lens, yes, it can grant you a few more extra points and ease of use when it comes to capturing more pretty photos. However, if you don't know the fundamentals of posing, in this case, we're talking about posing, you might take a really pretty photo of a really awkward couple. You might take a really beautiful photo, technical-wise, of a really stiff and awkward couple, okay? So we need to address the root situation first, and then you can buy new lenses and things like that later on to add and amplify your skill set, okay? So yeah, there you go, guys. That was a really good question. I love that. Anyway, I will let you be. Love you lots. And yeah, I'll see you in tomorrow's lesson. Bye. Oh, and shout out. You can get a shout out if you have any questions down below in the comments below. Ask any questions, anything, rebuttals, debates, anything. And also get Event Photography 101, great for beginners. You can get it on Amazon. Alrighty.